Hello and welcome to another multiplayer battle. I'm Eyebrows, and today we'll be facing off against the vampire counts and their allies, the Herd of the Shadow Gave. Now the Beastmen today brought in Morga himself, of course. If you're fighting against the Shadow Gave, it's pretty obvious. You're usually going to be fighting against Morga. He also brought in a Doom Bull, 2 units of Mind Tools with great weapons. He's also got units of Ghouls with shields for a bit of flak. Best to go herds over here. 3 units of them actually, which I was quite surprised at. 2 units of Ungor Raiders. He's also got a Cygor all the way down here, big ugly brute, and he's got 2 Centigors, 2 units of Centigors over there with throwing axes. The Vampire Count player brought in 2 units of Blood Knights. He's got another one over on the opposite flank. He's got 2 units of Black Knights. One of them with Lancers and Barding. The other one over there is a just standard unit. He's also got 3 units of Graveguard and 3 units of Skeleton Warriors, which was a bit of an interesting choice. Not really good enough to be frontline infantry, but a bit expensive to be just, to take punishment and to, absorb enemy fire. He's also got Crypt Horrors, he's got Dire Wolves, he brought in Vargeist, White King, and where's his general, as a matter of fact? He's all the way, he's hiding in here, and he brought along the Red Duke. I think he brought along the Red Duke. Yes, he did. There he is. Trotting along in the middle of the line. Now, my ally, the Wood Elves, over here, has 2 units of Wild Riders with shields hiding in the woods, ready looking for a flank. And back here, because I didn't have a Vanguard deployment, over here in the woods, I have a unit of Orc Boarboy Biggins, which will be coming around for some charges later in the battle. And in our front line, I put down some Orc Boarboys in front of our Elven Spear line, just to take some punishment. They're a bit cheaper than Elves, a little tougher, can take some more punishment. Got 3 units of Elven Spears, Elven Eternal Guard, with shields. 2 more holding the flanks. He's got 3 units of War Dancers in the centre, a Spell Singer of Life, 2 units of Glade Guard with Starfire Shafts, 2 units of Wild Rangers, and a unit of Eternal Guard back here. He also has a Glade Lord on a Forest Dragon. I brought in Azag the Slaughterer, and he's come in on his Skull Muncher. At the back here, I have in reserve, I brought in some Grim Killers and a unit of Black Orcs to reinforce them. Similar to the Bestigors over there, sort of a bit of a hit like a truck, very strong force. Also brought in a Giant today, and I have a Night Goblin Shaman as well. I did bring in 2 Wizards, which I'm not sure that was a good idea in hindsight, but they do work all right in the long run. Hammer of Gork at the back, already getting ready to take some shots. There they go. Off they fire. Let's see how we hit. That one was blocked by the trees, but I am aiming for the Graveguard just to whittle them down a bit. I know it is undead, so they have a lot of regeneration potential, but unfortunately you didn't bring any Mortis Engine on Cork Tats today. Also brought in 2 units of Forest Goblin Spider Rider Archers. And then I've got some packs of Night Goblins down here in Stalk, ready on the flank. They don't see these units at all, so these guys have a good impact later on. And last but not least, if I can find them, I did also bring in the Rusty Arrows. The Armour Sundering was very effective for this battle. Fighting a lot of heavy cavalry and Graveguard was definitely the right way to go. Glade Guard are starting to open fire as they move in. My micromanagement skills were not up to scratch this game. I sent my Orcs forward ahead of the Elven line and didn't declare a charge. So let's have a look here. Yeah, as you can see, I'm not leaping into the fight. My Orcs just kind of run into them, which is wasn't the smartest move on my part. However, I have upgraded these Orcs with experience a little bit, so they do hold the line. We've got the Elf Lord and Azag both coming in to reinforce them. The Undead player sent his boys in first to hold the line. Bestigors and Beastmen do come in behind him, but fortunately my Orc boys are there just long enough to hold the line, tough it out. Cryptora's down here going after the Spider Rider Archers. Vargulf is in here as well, some Skeleton Warriors. Coming to try and reinforce the Black Knights, and taking a lot of damage. They've got Armour Sundering and Poison effects, so they can't move as quickly. Spider Rider archers take off early on in the battle, and the Crypt Horrors try and move around for a flank attack. Things don't go so well for them. I've just noticed that all of the knights really around here are taking a heck of a lot of damage. Still keeping my black oaks in reserve all the way at the back. And as my goblin spider archers start to rally, we start to hammer down on those Crypt Horrors and do a bit of damage. This was a really tough battle. This was a very difficult battle. There's a lot of very numerous enemies that we've got here, and it was a bit of a struggle. It really was, but hopefully things turn out alright. Giant moving in, doing some swinging. There are Blood Knights around with anti-large, which is not good for me. He's taking a little bit of damage, and he's going to take a whole lot more. Forest Dragon's a bit bloodied up. He's flying over to try and get around the side. Crypt Horrors have been taken out. Where are they? They are... Oh, they're all already dead. Wipes out the entire unit. The Rusty Arrows have got some good kills. 6 kills so far. But here's where these things get a little bad. It was a very dicey battle at some points, and I was a bit concerned. My Night Goblins are coming in from the rear now. It felt like a much longer battle than I first realised. Azaga's gone in there. He's against Minotaurs, great weapons, which is not the best idea. I did try desperately. I was clicking all the way over here to try and pull them out. All the way down here, we've had some skirmishing between the Wild Riders and the Centaurs who've been driven off. My old four boys are coming in for a charge as well, doing a heck of a lot of damage. Because I assume they were kept there as a flank unit, but when they saw the Wild Riders, they were used instead to defend the Psycho, which did not work out for them. My four boys are coming in now to try and take him out. He's got... How many kills has the Psycho got? 51 kills. Not a bad amount so far. Hopefully we'll try and make it as few as possible. My old boys on the front line are just starting to buckle now. They've been flanked by Chaos Spawn, they've been summoned by Morga, while the Rangers are coming in, and the War Dancers trying to help me hold the line up there. It was a very fractious battle, and there's a lot of micromanagement to do. Very difficult. Crimson Killers coming around the side here. So just slow down for a moment, because there is a lot going on in this battle. Vargas is starting to break. Skeleton War, the Graveguard over here have taken a bit of damage. Direwolves are also taking some damage. They're crumbling. The line here, as you can see, everyone's taking a lot of punishment. There's a lot of damage being dealt on both sides. Wild Riders have come down here to reinforce the line. Forest Gladelord is wavering. It looks like he's about to break. Ungo Raiders are focusing him down. I sent Azag back here to try and pick him off to protect his lord. Way out here, the Psycho has broken. My old boys are trying to pick him off, see if we can finish him off and stop him coming back. This is the Gore units, Gore herd down here taking some damage. The front line all the way along is just really, really tight. There's only a few. Some places there's only a few orcs and a few elves just holding the line. It's a very difficult battle. He's using his. He doesn't use his Shadow Dance of Loek, strangely enough, for a frontline unit. I mean, maybe I would have suggested that. Maybe it would have been a better thing to do, but there was a lot to manage in this battle, and I'm sure it was no different for the elf player. All right, at the back, the Rusty Arrows have got on the worst side of a Gorball, and there's a White King also coming in. Black Oaks are hoping to hold the line, hoping to do some damage. Didn't get a kills this battle. Also got my Night Goblin Shaman coming in. He didn't do as much as I would have liked. I mean, magic was divided between him and Azag. Azag was busy trying to debuff this big block of enemies hanging around all the way down this front line. All boys are wavering. Skeletons are crumbling. All around, it was a very bloody battle. There's a lot of damage being done on both sides. Our Goblin Arrow boys are trying to hold down the Red Duke. He's using Undeath Resurgent. Just trying to pin him in, see if we can get him with just flanks and charges. My poor Goblin Spider Rider's got a few kills. They were things like Blood Knights and Black Knights, and picking off a couple of Crypt Horrors, so they were good units. Good, strong, high-value units that we decided that we managed to pick off. All boys are coming back. Bestigor's on the run. Psycho does rally and starts to fire again, which I did miss. In hindsight, I should have made sure that he was dead forever and chased him off. But where's that? Where is he? Ah, there's our boy. He's flying overhead. He's coming to the back of his graveyard for a charge. Oh, straight through the unit. I mean, Azag is a fantastic general. He's my favourite of the old generals. I find Grimgor not mobile enough. Wurzag's not too lightly armoured, even on the wall. And even Scarstick, I find, is just a bit squishy. He's a bit squishy for my liking. Azag has a good amount of health. Really picks it off. So we timed up. It's a close victory on our part, a very close victory. There were a lot of enemy units still hanging around on the battlefield. Really, if the battle had carried on any further, it could have gone either way. I mean, we still had the Red Duke down here somewhere. Yep, he was pinned in. Don't know how much health he was on, but he was still pinned. There were Beastmen units rallying at the back, starting to take shots here, there, and everywhere. Cygor had rallied. Morgur was still on very high health. We couldn't get him down. That guy is just not killable. But let's end the replay and see the scores. Okay, so the Wood Elf player, Foxy, props to him. He lost 5-5-7. I lost 4-4-3. And funnily enough, an Orc player losing less than a Wood Elf player. I don't know if that's exactly a good sign or not. The enemy lost 543, but the Vampire counts lost a heck of a lot of troops, 1,059, which is probably what turned the tide in our favour. Azag got 95 kills, a very good amount for him. Usually I get somewhere around the 50 mark. He's usually too busy flying around, going for high value targets and debuffing the enemy. The Night Goblin Shaman got no kills, used a couple of buffs on him, but in hindsight I probably would have brought a few extra units of goblins or orcs just to help hold the line, buff them up. The Night Goblins didn't get many kills, but they did. They charged briefly into the back of the enemy line before they had to turn around and pin down the Red Duke, keep him from supporting his units. The Orc boys held the line very well. All of them lost a lot of health, but two of the units got a lot of kills. 100 kills for those boys there. Very impressed. The Black Orcs didn't get a great deal. They were mostly fighting the Gorbel and the White King, who broke in through the back to go in towards the Rusty Errors. Crimson Killers got 54, did much better. Dealt out a lot of punishment to the Graveguard and the Skeleton Warriors on the right flank. The 2 units of Night Goblin Archers didn't get a lot of kills, but they did get charged by the Red Duke, and they were helping to pin him down on the right hand side. The Rusty Errors, 15 kills. I was impressed with them. I mean, a lot of those kills were Crypt Horrors and Blood Knights, so a lot of high value kills for them. 20 kills for the Orc Boy Biggins. Mostly picking off the Centigores, coming in for a charge at the end and doing damage to the Cygor. Forest Goblin Spider Rider Archers, they were a nuisance on that flank, and I did see the enemy pulling units out to try and chase them down with no success. That one did lose some health when I had to charge it into combat to try and support the line. The Giant got 104 kills, did very well. I don't think he broke through the whole battle. He did lose a ton of health though, but he got 2 XP in the meantime. I didn't upgrade him before the battle. And the Hammer got 61 kills, didn't lose any health, so that one managed to continue firing without being interrupted. Alright, Jossie playing as the Brayherd of the Shadow Gave. Morgan got 34 kills, decent amount. Gorbel 42, very good amount. I saw him plugging away. The Gore Herds did alright. That one got 65 kills, which is very impressive, really, for a unit that lightly armoured. We shouldn't have allowed that to get that many kills, but they did. Vestigores, 16, 12, 33, lost a fair bit of health. Against an army as lightly armoured and as mobile as ours, I don't know if Vestigores were the right way to go. They're just a bit too sluggish, and their animations and their armour piercing do mean that their attacks are a lot slower. The Ungor Raiders open fire, got a lot of damage on the Glade Lord, nearly made him break, did a bit of damage to Azag, but I did go in and do some damage to them. Centigores didn't do a great deal. They were not the unit to use against the Orc Boy Biggins and the Wild Riders on the flank. Not ideal. They took a lot of damage and they broke without really much of a fight. The Minotaurs did very well, a lot of damage from them, and the Cygor 56 kills, and we didn't quite manage to finish it off, so we did manage to get a few more. Alright, well, that was a very hard battle on my part. Thank you all for tuning in, and I'm looking forward to the next episode, so ta-ra for now.